Hello everyone, James O'Farron here, James with a Y, with Catalytic Conversations. This is a video long in coming. I've talked about this particular system that I use a few times before, and people have always wanted me to do a video talking more about in detail about how I use it and how it helps me and how it helps my clients as well. One of the challenges that we face in life in general, but also in particular when you're dealing with digital burnout or when you're dealing with digital performance, is being able to track successes effectively, to be able to improve motivation by providing constant, actionable feedback on how you are performing according to the important things that you are measuring, your metrics that are critical for your success. Being able to check things off on a list as some to-do items is useful. Giving rewards is useful. Getting encouragement from an accountability partner, these are all useful. And they each have their own specific benefits and pros and cons to each of them. One of the more challenging things that I found to be able to actually tangibly reward and track is time, how it is spent. I use a time tracker app that I keep track of everything I do. Every moment of every day is constantly recorded of what categories I'm spending it in. Right now I'm creating content for you, and this has been a habit that I've used for many years, and I've really gained a lot of value from it. But the challenges, I'll do a whole video on that particular app and so on at some point, but one of the challenges that come out of that is how do I reward and see and review that time and how it's spent, and how do I correlate with specific time blocks and things like that when you're blocking your time effectively. And in thinking about this, because I'm tracking it on my phone, I'm not always looking at my phone, and I shouldn't be, how do I visibly see my progress in accomplishing the priorities of my time during a given week? So one of the things that I have experimented with, because I'm always my first guinea pig, is an Abacus. I started out as an idea. This is what I use here. Here's what I meant literally, an Abacus. This is a time tracking system. I have each row is a particular category labeled here, the colors coordinating to what the particular subject is, and I have each labeled for particular kinds of things that I spend time on. And as I spend a time block on a particular subject, these are roughly equivalent to about a half hour, I just slide one over, and then at the end of the week I slide them all back over. I take a picture of it to record it and keep track of it, and slide them all back over. Very satisfying. This is a powerful tool I have discovered. The initial motivating factor that I developed into this was just a simple bucket with marbles in it, and as I completed back when I was a web developer and I wanted to motivate myself to track the time that I was spending in a day to get time in for developing. And so I would, every half hour, every Pomodoro that I did, I would move a marble from one bucket to the other. So I had a goal of number of hours I wanted to get in during the week, and I had that many marbles worth in the bucket. And then as I watched, I could see the progress moving towards my goal as I moved across. And it was tremendously helpful. Something very simple, but also very rewarding, because it was something tangible, something concrete with an end goal that was in contrast to the general endless nature of many projects and spending time developing things online. When I became an entrepreneur, I suddenly discovered that I had a lot of different things, not just programming, to track. So there was a lot of kinds of marbles, and I didn't have room on my desk for all the different kinds of marbles to track. And I had the idea, it clicked in my brain that I could use an abacus in a very similar way. Sliding the bead from one side to the other could be equivalent to moving marble from one bucket to another. And I had all the different colors associated with different tasks. And I've refined it over the time. I found like practical tips, sticky notes for labeling the specific colors. So I don't have to think which color was which. Having that there is super helpful. Having a colored dot next to it to correlate with the colors. And then I also discovered that sticky notes don't stick very well to wood. And so taking washing tape and putting it over the edge all the way up the front makes it easier for me to stick the sticky note on there. So a tip for you if you want to emulate the same thing. And Abacus is like $15 on Amazon. Super simple. And what's really amazing about it is that it doesn't require the phone, doesn't use power or anything like that, but it's always sitting on my desk. It's right there. And so it's a constant reminder of my progress during the week. How am I doing? What am I spending a significant amount of time on that week? Which ones have I let slip and I've forgotten to pay attention to? So I'm looking at this, I haven't been doing as much, word content creation. I've been creating some video content, but not as much as I would like to. But I have been doing well on the time that I've put into coaching, the time I put a lot of time into networking. I maxed out the capacity for it. So I do a lot of networking. I can see that consistently week by week. I'm investing time here rather than here. And that gives me immediate feedback. There's no judgment attached to it. I can just see, here's what I'm doing. And it creates that motivating factor of being able to track accurately things that are important to me. This can also be used in other contexts. So I have a client who uses one of these bars specifically for just giving a rating for the day. Like, this is a terrible day. I won't move any marbles over or any beads over. This was an okay day. I moved one over. And this is an awesome day. I'll move 2 over. And over by the week, you kind of get an idea of a general rating for the week, which is a really cool way of doing it. He actually came up with that particular idea. And so this is a very flexible tool. You can use it for tracking how many breaks you take, how many chapters you read, how many exercise sets you've done, not just time blocks. The particular value that I've seen in it, though, is specifically the kinds of things that don't innately have a tangible reward. If it's something that doesn't really have a strong endpoint or a strong conclusion or something you can point to at the end, it's like, I completed that, this is a really good surrogate to say, I did this much of a thing, and here's a tangible bead to mark that off. And it works with our brains. We physically register that more effectively. It gives us a stronger sense of accomplishment, which specifically helps combat imposter syndrome, which is a component of burnout. It helps us be able to track our mastery and growth and progress, which is another component of burnout. And so it actually helps us in almost a therapeutic way to feel a sense of accomplishment. So this is the Abacus system that I use. I highly recommend trying it out. Let me know in the comments if you experiment with it, you find other ways of using it. If you run into any problems with it or questions, let me know. I'd love to help you troubleshoot with it and see how other people learn and benefit from this system. I will see you in the next systems video. All the best to you.